Okay, and then so I just added 10 subdivisions along the width of my new plane, which we haven't really been able to see yet. And we want to set the width to 10. And then I'm going to parent that to the joint for the left wing. So let me find that. So there's the wrist joint. We'll use that. Press P. And then I'll zero this all out so I can get it into that location. And then I'm going to translate it in, and I can just, this doesn't have to be skinned or anything, at least not yet. Because this part of the wing shouldn't ever really be bending around. Now, if this part of the wing were ever to bend around, like maybe be more cartoony, then we would have to make sure that this strip also has that same behavior. Okay, so let me rename this to feather tip feather underscore left tip underscore I'm not really sure, look or aim to geo. Yeah, I probably could do better on that name, but then we'll delete the history, and that ought to be good. Okay, so for now, just make sure this doesn't change. When I'm thinking about it, we'll lock that translate so it can't be moved around. Okay, now with this geometry selected, we want to put 10 follicles on there, let's say. And we don't really care about all this NURBS curves and everything. We don't even care about, let's put it in its own new hair system though, because we're just going to delete it after the fact, and that way we can make sure that it's segregated and we don't accidentally delete what we don't delete stuff on it. We didn't mean to on accident. Okay, so that's selected. I actually have to unlock it to be able to unparent it. Okay, so frame it over here, unparent it. Okay, so it's over here now. And we'll click create hair, but it didn't work. It didn't work because I forgot to look at the UV texture editor for this and move these up. Okay, so let me undo and switch to UV mode. Grab these UVs and slide them up. Okay, now that's done. Go back to my create hair, and there it goes. So I got this new hair system, all these new follicles. I'm going to delete everything except for the follicles. Okay, so now I have something to aim at. So I'm going to have this feather aim to this feather tip. So let me just grab, I'm going to delete all the follicles except for 3. Normally we would have kept them all, but I'd have all the feathers done as well. And then I need to create my locators for my up vector. So create locator, and we'll call this feather underscore left, capital T tip underscore up vector. And now I'm going to grab this plane. Secondly, grab this follicle, shift select this plane. Actually, I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, and I also forgot to zero out my locator. So let's do that real quick. And we'll slide that up. I guess I'll go ahead and do the other two also. So we'll parent one of these to each of these others. And then we'll just move them all up at the same time. Okay. Now I'm ready. So I need to grab this follicle, this feather tip base, geo, whatever I called it. Looks like I need to delete history on it. So we'll do that real quick. And then we are going to go to constrain, aim, option box. This time we're going to click maintain offset because we've already got it pointing the direction we want. We just want it to stay that way. Okay. So our aim is going to be negative y because y is pointing down. So we got negative 1 in y, 0 in z and x. And then our up vector, let's make that a negative x. So a negative 1 in x, z, y, and z are zeros. And then we need to give it the name of our locator. So I'll copy that. We'll paste it here. And then we'll make our selection one last time. And we'll click apply. Okay. So now, wherever that follicle goes, or if I were to move this plane, the feather is going to point at that follicle, and that's good. Now we've only got one last thing we need to do, and that's we need to tell these feathers where to be. So I'm thinking we were sticking them to this plane here. But I'm thinking a better way to do that is we'll just use a point constraint and the point constraint that we'll use is going to be the tip of the wing and our helper joint that's at the wrist, our wrist helper joint. Okay, so I'm going to turn off these vertex normals real quick. Okay. So I need to go find those two joints. So we have the left wrist joint. And we have, actually we didn't want that one. We want the helper joint. And we want the tip of the helper joint actually. Okay.